discussion that's actually interactive. So where do you want to be by the end of 2025? Just imagine for a minute, where do you want to be with your business, even if you just started. Just take a minute here. Where is your business idea at the moment? What's your goal? Because we heard many times today already in different talks that if you can't dream it, you won't do it. You won't be able to do it. And that's where I want to start today. Okay. So, as I said, this workshop is about you. So, we're going to dive into the mind of the founder, but it's really how far are you allowing yourself to go? Because the first trait, which might surprise some people, is not product market fit, it's not a thing, it's not the big idea or the business genius, but it is. You have to actually be able to imagine it. So imagine it's December 2025, your most successful year yet. What does this business year look like? What would it look like for you if this year was the most successful you ever had? Anyone who wants to share? Okay, I think it's a little late for that. But then imagine it in your head for a minute, because this is the most crucial step already. You already taken, if you imagine it in your head, the most crucial pattern for success, which is believe that it is possible for you. You actually have to not only believe it, but you definitely have to believe it for yourself to make it possible. If you don't trust yourself, who will? Nobody else will believe it. Nobody else can follow you if you don't believe it's possible. Also, there will be a lot of talk back, especially if you start, there will be a lot of people who might say, are you sure? And especially close friends and family who might want to protect you. So you have to have a vision for yourself. And now the question is, how do you build that? How do you build this belief in yourself? If you don't already have it, some people have it, they are born with it, they just do it, and they naturally believe. But if you don't have that, how do you actually get that? You surround yourself with the right people, like in this group. You surround yourself with people who actually have been there, who might be 2 steps ahead of you, or who have actually the belief that you can do it because they see it in you. Again, might not be your close family and friends, but rather a selective community, and we come to that later on as well. Plus, very important, invest in your skills. Because if you invest in your skills, then you get more secure. You get more secure in what you can do, so your clients will feel that you're actually capable. Which, in most cases here, as I got to know a few of you here, is not the problem. So, the main problem is going to be in your own head. And now we have 6 more traits. We're not going to go for the product market fit here because that's a given. We're going to go more into the mindset phase, and we're going to go more into what actually matters beyond your great idea. And actually, there has not to be a great idea. There has to be a certain product that you market and a positioning that you feel in your gut works for you. So, before we dive into the next 6 patterns of success, who am I and why am I even staying here? I'm an entrepreneur since 2016. I started by coincidence. I never even imagined going further than a year. I went into tech consultancy from Ireland to Berlin and then later to Munich and built a 6-figure tech startup in 2021. And then I felt there has to be more than that. So from my talks with several entrepreneurs, I felt there are a lot of ideas, there are a lot of founders, there are a lot of, especially in Germany, great minds who have a lot of product ideas, service ideas, but they usually have one problem. Either they don't believe it's possible for them, again, first, most important pattern. Second, they don't know how. Even if you believe, you have to know how, especially in Germany, especially with all the Finanzamt and all the fun parts of bureaucracy coming. So let's go beyond strategy and go go for the mindset today, because the strategy has to be in place. You have to have a financial strategy, you have to have a positioning, you have to have a great product or service, but there has to be more than that, and that's what I got to know over the past 8 years so far. And what are these 6 essential patterns next to believing in yourself? The second one is start with why. Have a strong why for your business in order to succeed, because you have to know why, and the why is not, I want to make a lot of money and then go to HR. That's not going to bring you, well, it might bring you to like 5-figure maybe, if you're lucky, but your why has to be really, either you have a product you really believe in, or you have a service you really believe in. You have to have a why that differentiates yourself from other people. So, anyone wants to share their why at this point? Or do you want to keep this for now? Okay. I feel like I'm not so good on the 5 p.m. status. People are not so interactive anymore. Maybe I should have had the 8 a.m. slot. But maybe this helps you at least internally. Do you remember why you started your journey? Do you remember why you had your first idea of, I want to be a freelancer, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to be a founder? Either way of those. And that's your key. That's your strong key, your internal GPS if you want to. That's what you're always coming back to. And that's always the part you're coming back to when people are criticizing you, when people are asking you, what do you do? Always follow the why and have a unique why that differentiates you. Then, as here, build a network, but choose wisely. Because your network is your net worth. And this isn't just a catchy phrase. It's really important to choose the right people. Maybe even choose a small community in the beginning. If you have an idea, don't go out big with everyone, but keep it small. Maybe find some professionals who already work in the field. Find even a mentor or a coach who might help you. It's very important, either with a mentor or a coach, or a group of people who have been where you want to be. So strive and maybe find a group of people who are at least 1 step ahead of you. Not 10 steps, because that might be a little much, but 2 steps ahead of you. And that group can look a little bit like your own group. It can be a mentor, it can be a coach. What is important is that you have shared values and that you connect with these people, because it can save you a lot of time, it can save you a lot of money, and it can save you a lot of stress in the end if you would talk to these people, and they might, especially when it comes to German bureaucracy, but also to so many other things. Now you have your why, you have your belief, you have your network. What's next? Be open for opportunities, and I can't stress how important this is, because there are opportunities everywhere. There's a book, I don't know who has read The Secret. 1 person. 2, wow. There is a great experiment in that book where you actually put 10 entrepreneurs in a room full of opportunities, and you let them choose, or let you put them in the room and you see who finds all the opportunities, all the hidden treasures on, well, they were just little marks, but still. And 2 of the 10 only found them. This experiment just showed that opportunity rarely knocks, it whispers. It's very small, it might be just a voice in your head, it might be a very small encounter, it might be an encounter you had today, or you have tomorrow. It might not be what you expect. It can be something completely different. The how is not your problem. So you have your goal, you have your why, you have your vision, that's important. But how you're going to get there, that's usually not how you expect it. So this is very important, be open. And avoid your blind spots by, again, collaborating, having your network, but also just having an open mind. And be sure that, or know that success doesn't need to look like success, but can be a different route than you ever expected. How do you spot these opportunities? If you say, no, yeah, great, but now I have an open mind, I don't know what to do next. Stay curious, and that's the fun part. So really just talk to people. Just talk to people, just go about your day. Always keep your goal in mind, always keep your vision up to date. That can be something that you have your vision next to your bed. Or if that stresses you out too much, I have that, and it doesn't stress me out, but I know colleagues who that for them it's stressful. So find a way that works for you. But have the vision in your head, believe it that it's possible, and then stay curious, go out, talk to people. You will find the right people, and if you have challenging situations, ask what is the lesson there. So what can you learn from the situation, actually? And really listen to your teammates, listen to your customers. There might be feedback in there, especially if you have an MVP, so a minimal viable product, a first product. It's good to start early, but then really listen to the feedback that's coming from the market. I said we go for mindset today, but there's always a part of product that's important as well. So if your how needs to change, let it. Your why should not change. So follow why you started. Maybe also remind yourself, why did I start this? Is this still following the right path? If yes, fine, this how can be different. And next, be willing to take risks. This is something really important, and this is something I always saw I've seen so many startups, so many founders, so many people from different industries, actors, tech products, everything pretty much, I want to say at this point, yeah. The difference between somebody who made it, a successful entrepreneur in any area, and someone who maybe made it for 2 years or not even that, they were not willing to take risks, because risks are not reckless, they are required. Risk-taking is essential, especially also in Germany. This cannot be stressed enough, because we are very cautious when it comes to that. Every disruptive market, every disruptive product came with a risk and came with people in the beginning not believing in it. One example, everybody knows Airbnb. Airbnb in the beginning, one, nearly bankrupt, two, people said, there's no market for it, people will not give their houses away, are you crazy? Same for Apple. You know the story, I don't have to repeat it. Big products, big tech products, nearly bankrupt. They took risks, the founders took risks, believed in themselves, worked, went with an MVP, tested the market, incorporated the feedback, took a risk again, and they succeeded. Over years, over time. This is not going to be something you're going to do in 1 day or 2 days. Gain real-world feedback and find the balance. One thing that's really helpful is if you have a co-founder. One, you can do it as a solopreneur, you can have a network. That's very helpful if you're a solopreneur. But if you are a business and you have a co-founder, it's really helpful. That's what I noticed with my clients, if you have balancing traits. So if you have one person who is really more the controller, really good at numbers, the other person should be more marketing, creative driven. We had earlier this talk, maybe some people saw it, of the different color traits, red, yellow, green, and blue. So if you have a counterpart, that makes your life a little bit easier. One, because you challenge each other, and two, because you can actually brainstorm together. Then, level between risk and strategy. Don't take crazy risks, of course. I've seen many, I don't want to say names now, but I've seen many startups who grew and then they went over to the US too fast. And within a year, they got completely broke. So have your dreams, maybe even your dream of your office in New York or whatever, but be smart about it. And view challenges as invitations. That's again the mindset part, where you can say, okay, this challenge is an invitation for me to grow. This challenge is something I brought into my life. Again, earlier slide, what can I learn here? It's all about the journey. It's never about only the destination, but it's the journey and the part where you want to go to. 6, be okay with failure. That's coming next is the most successful entrepreneurs face major fails. For example, I have a story of More. I don't know how many of you know the More products at Rewe and all the other supermarkets. Okay, not many. So just to wrap it up, one example, they told the founder 2 years before these products became worth millions, no, we are not taking your product. But he never gave up. Why? Because failure isn't an opposite of success, it's a vital ingredient. You learn from failure. You learn, is the market ready? What's the product market fit? Why does it not work? Do I have to change the target group? Again, it comes back to listen to your audience, listen to the feedback, and reframe failure, very important. Don't see yourself as, oh, I failed, okay, now I give up, now I go back to maybe being an employee. But what went wrong? What is the lesson here? What's the invite here for me to learn? And also very important, believe in yourself and your vision and see, not altering the why necessarily, but altering the how. Maybe you need a different target audience, maybe you need a different side product, maybe you need a different service, maybe your product was not understood correctly. There are so many different aspects you can learn, and again, this can be learned very easily with a mentor or a coach, or with your supporting network like you have here. Maybe you can ask someone from sales if you're in marketing, maybe they have a different perspective. So use your network, use your mentors, use someone who has a different perspective, again, different co-founders ideally, or someone who has a completely different background who can give you valuable feedback at this point. And the last part, take action. Once you've collected all that feedback, once you read all the books, once you have all the master classes, what most people forget is that actually do it. So don't only read the books, but actually execute what you read. Go with an MVP, go with your idea, go to the market, and not when it's perfect, but once you have it. Once it's out there, and then adjust on the go. Because then you're already better than 90% of the startups. If you just take the action, because most people won't ever do that.